today for Manchester United, and they march on.
Yeah, and it was always going to be a building process. Forget the performances for a minute. Just beating Liverpool and Arsenal at home in those first 4 or 5 games, what does that do just for that process that Erik ten Hag's undergoing?
Yeah, well, I think the Liverpool game's the bigger one. Obviously, with where they've been the last couple of years, and such a great team. Yeah, I think that was a massive win for them. Just get them started on the road, and like I said, they haven't been brilliant, but they're showing signs. It was all about getting that confidence, winning games, whatever way you did it. And I think they've done it again today. I don't think they were brilliant. Devastating on the counter-attack second half. I think Arsenal controlled the game for most parts. A little bit surprised with the substitutes Arsenal made in the second half. I thought they were in complete control of the game, creating chances. And as soon as they made the subs, they seemed to lose that a little bit. And Eriksen started getting on the ball, and Fernandes does, obviously, his great pass for Marcus. But United will get better. There's no doubt about that. Performance aren't brilliant, but in time to come, I think they'll get better and start winning a lot of games. OK, we have a lot of time to reflect and get all the reaction from that game at Old Trafford, of course. But the Premier League weekend is complete, and suffice to say, or if I say, it was full of talking points. That might be something of an understatement. It started with a 0-0, but it didn't tell its own story in the Merseyside derby between Everton and Liverpool. 5-star show from Brentford. So many talking points. West Ham furious, but Chelsea won the game at Stamford Bridge. Newcastle equally furious to only get a point after their goal ruled out against Crystal Palace. Nottingham Forest were 2 up and lost 3-2 at home to Bournemouth. Spurs unbeaten in 12 Premier League games now after overcoming Fulham by 2-1. First win in 13 league games for Wolves by 1-0 against Southampton. And Manchester City just taking a point. Aston Villa stopping the rot with a draw against the champions. And earlier today, Leicester rock bottom, 7 games in, 1 point on the board. 5-star show from Brighton, the first time in their history that they've scored 5 goals in the English top flight. And we have just watched Manchester United beat Arsenal by 3-1. So as I say, look away now, Leicester fans. It's not getting any brighter. 1 point, as I say, 5 defeats, and Nottingham Forest and West Ham, the other 2 teams, currently 6 games in the bottom 3. The 3 points for Manchester United nudged them up to 5th. They're a point behind Brighton, who won earlier today, who themselves trail Manchester City and Spurs by only a point. Arsenal are still top of the tree. They're a point clear, but that 100% record has gone. Much more to come from Old Trafford. Stay right with us as we reflect on United's win, Antony's debut goal, Saka's equaliser, and then Rashford stepped up to put his name in lights. So Manchester United lead at Old Trafford by 1-0, and a debut goal as well for Antony. 21st United player to score in his Premier League debut. Who would have memories like that? Hey, Paul. Well, let's have a look at this one then. His 19th touch. We'd hardly seen him. And the finish was a smart one, Yeah, we've not seen a lot of him because Arsenal was so good, but the pass there from Eriksen is brilliant. Breaks through the Arsenal midfield into Fernandes, another good touch. OK, probably a foul, but then it's all about the weight of pass from Marcus. Antony's waiting patiently out here on the right-hand side. And he finished it really well. But this is the pass for me. This is the one. That's why Eriksen there is in there, to try and control the game. Play passes of this quality. He sees Fernandes in a lot of space. Brilliant ball into him. A little bit heavy with his second touch. Will possibly been a foul. The referee carries on to his credit. And lovely way to pass to Marcus, and you'd expect him to score from there.
Did you like that finish?
I loved it. It was a great way to pass, and it allowed him to actually hit it with his left foot. And that's why a lot of these players now are switching sides. You look at Mo Salah, you look at, well, all players at this top level seems to be left footers on the right footers on the left for that reason alone. But it was a brilliant flow and move, and that's what you get when you've got Eriksen playing so deep. Those passes through the lines, and Fernandes was obviously in that corridor just waiting to set the attack up.
So that was one Brazilian celebration. We had already seen another Brazilian celebration from Gabriel Martinelli, but that was cut short. What was your reading of this, Jack?
We spoke before, didn't we, about transition moments, and that's a transition moment. It's a great run, it's a great ball, and it's a wonderful finish. For me, it's not a foul. I can't see how it's been brought back. It's not clear and obvious. So yeah, I mean, if I'm Arsenal, I'm going at half-time happy with the performance. I'm questioning the decision to bring that back, because I can't see how they brought that back.
I think it possibly is a foul, But I certainly don't think it's enough of a foul to be bringing it back and having a review. I don't think the referee should be going anywhere near that screen on the side of the pitch. There's no clear and obvious. That's just, you know, that we're getting back to the stage where we're re-refereeing games here. That's not a clear and obvious situation, and it should just be left. Some people will think it's a foul, some people not. Well, if that's the case, then it's obviously not clear and obvious, and it should have been left alone.
I know you're relieved, but in all seriousness, which way did you see that?
I think it's very soft. It's his interpretation of the foul. He's 10 yards away. He doesn't think it's a foul. You go to somebody else, he's got a different opinion. I think Michael's right. It's ridiculous. It should never come back. I think they're a little bit unlucky there, Arsenal.
Let's speak to the former Premier League referee, Dermot Gallagher. You've heard the boys' opinion there, Derm. What's your reading of that situation?
I think it's a foul, Steve. I think he pushed him in the back, and I think he also catches him with his knee in the back of the leg. I think once Lee Mason, the VAR, sees that, he's got to flag it up to Paul because it's impacted on the move. That's where Arsenal won the ball back. If you see here, I think it's a push there, and I think he also catches him in the back of the leg. And it goes straight forward, and Martinelli scores very, very quickly. So their argument will be it's in the attacking phase because it transitions so quickly. But for me, it's a foul.
Yeah, Derm, I mean, I agree. I think it's a foul as well. But that is, I mean, we've got three players here, three ex-players here, and we're all sort of debating, is it a foul? Oh, it's soft. Oh, yeah, I think it might be. You know, Jackson, probably not. We're all sort of, yes, maybe not. So surely, even for a referee, it can't be totally clear and obvious that. And don't you agree that that is re-refereeing the game for something that's not an absolute howler?
Yeah, I think there's been a number of vagaries, Michael, like you say, you know, and the problem is that we're not consistent amongst ourselves as referees, you know, like human beings, you know, that our tolerance levels are slightly different, and one sees a foul, one doesn't. When it's flagged up and Paul Tierney goes to the screen, I think he sees that then, and he gives a foul. I can understand why he's given a foul.
And on the word of consistency, Dome, even if we go back to earlier today, in the lead-up to one of the goals at the Amex Stadium, the challenge from Yuri Tielemans wasn't looked at, wasn't even mentioned, goal stood. Is there a similarity here?
I think it's a different challenge, Steve. I think it's an upper body challenge. I think it's a real strong challenge with his shoulder. It's side by side, so that's the difference. What you would say as well, it was checked, albeit very, very quickly, because it resulted in a goal, so the VAR will check everything in the attacking phase. But for me, that's not a foul. If you look, it's side by side, as I say, catches him with his shoulder very, very strongly, but for me, not a foul.
Dermot, thank you very much indeed. We love our game. It is one of opinions, and they will be mixed surrounding that, as you can hear. But the statistic at half-time is that Manchester